Have you ever asked yourself, why can one careless comment ruin my whole day? Or, why does one last-minute cancellation make my entire evening feel ruined? These small moments, which seem fleeting, somehow have the power to throw off our entire mood. The reason isn't what's happening on the outside, it's how we respond to it. We don't live in the situation itself, we live in our emotional reaction to it. Someone cuts you off in traffic, it lasts only a few seconds. But the irritation and frustration can stick with you for hours, maybe even the whole day. A cancellation text takes less than 30 seconds to send, yet the feeling of being dismissed or hurt can lead to self-doubt for days. The issue isn't other people's actions, it's how we let our emotions take control. So how do we avoid getting pulled into a spiral of negative emotions? How do we stay grounded in a world that constantly feels like it's spinning out of control? First, we need to understand why emotions have such a strong grip on us. From a psychological perspective, our emotional responses are often triggered by the brain's limbic system, the part responsible for fast, instinctive reactions. This system evolved to help our ancestors respond instantly to danger. But in modern life, danger is rarely physical. Instead, it often comes in the form of social conflict, unmet expectations, or emotional wounds. When we're unaware of this process, the limbic system can cause us to overreact to even the smallest things. For example, when someone cuts you off in traffic, your limbic system might register it as a threat to your safety or pride, triggering a fight or flight response. But when you apply steps 1 and 2 of the emotional regulation formula, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for logical thinking and decision-making. This shift helps you take back control and respond more consciously. Today, I want to share with you a simple, practical, and powerful formula for managing your emotions. This isn't about becoming emotionless or robotic. It's about keeping a steady mind and inner peace, even when the world feels chaotic. The formula includes 5 straightforward but powerful steps to help you master your emotions and live a more meaningful life. Let's dive in. Step 1. Name the emotion. What am I feeling? When anger, sadness, or frustration hits, most people don't pause to ask, what exactly am I feeling? Our instinct is to react, snap back, raise our voice, or even lash out. But if you take just 5 seconds to name the emotion, something powerful happens. Identifying your emotion is like turning on a light in a dark room. Without light, you might trip, bump into things, or break something. But when the light is on, you can see clearly and move with intention. Imagine you're driving and someone suddenly cuts you off. Your heart races, your face gets hot, and you feel a wave of rage. Instead of honking or shouting, try pausing and asking yourself, what am I feeling? You might realize that underneath the anger is fear from nearly getting into an accident, or maybe a feeling of disrespect from someone else's recklessness. I've been in a situation like that myself. Once, I planned to meet a friend I deeply valued, hoping to build a closer connection. I picked a favorite cafe and showed up early, excited. But just before the meetup, they texted to cancel for a vague reason. I felt hurt, angry, and disappointed. But when I took a moment to name my feelings, I realized that beneath the anger was sadness from unmet expectations and a bit of insecurity, wondering if I mattered enough to them. Naming your emotion doesn't just help you understand what you're feeling, it creates space between you and that emotion. When you say, I'm feeling angry, you're no longer consumed by anger. You become the observer of it, and from that place, you can choose how to respond instead of being controlled by it. Now, step 2. Ask why. Where is this emotion coming from? Once you've named the emotion, the next step is to trace its root. Why am I feeling this way? Emotions don't show up randomly. They're the result of how we interpret a situation, not just the situation itself. In the case of nearly getting hit in traffic, I wasn't just mad because of what the other driver did. I was mad because I thought, that guy's reckless. He doesn't care about anyone else. In the case of the canceled meetup, I was upset not just because they bailed, but because I interpreted it as, they don't value me. I put in effort and they didn't care. The way we interpret situations often comes from past beliefs, values, or experiences. For example, if you've been rejected multiple times in the past, one canceled meeting might trigger feelings of abandonment or worthlessness. If you grew up in a household where punctuality was a big deal, someone being late might feel deeply disrespectful. Understanding where your emotions come from helps you see that emotions are not absolute truths. They're just perspectives. And when your perspective shifts, your emotions can shift too. For example, after I calmed down, I asked myself, why am I so upset about my friend canceling? I realized that my sadness didn't just come from their action. It came from the expectations I had built around that meeting. I had pictured a deep conversation, the strengthening of a meaningful connection. And when that didn't happen, it felt like I had lost something important. Once I understood that, I saw that my emotions weren't entirely caused by someone else, but by how I positioned myself in the situation. Next is step 3. Give the other person the benefit of the doubt. What if I were in their shoes? This is the hardest step, but also the most powerful when it comes to diffusing negative emotions. When you feel angry or hurt, try putting yourself in the other person's position and ask, is there a reason they acted that way? This doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or pretending it's okay, but when you try to understand what might have driven their actions, your heart starts to soften. With the friend who canceled, I asked myself, maybe something urgent came up. Maybe they weren't in a good place emotionally and didn't want to show up in that state, or maybe they just weren't ready for the kind of connection I was hoping for. Just thinking through those possibilities helped me feel lighter. I realized their decision might not reflect anything about my worth. It could simply be about where they were in that moment. Another example. In the case of the near car accident, I imagined that the other driver might have been rushing to the hospital with a loved one, or maybe they were just momentarily careless, just like I've been at times. This kind of compassion doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps me let go of my frustration and not carry it around all day. Then comes step 4. Evaluate your response. Who do I want to be right now? This is where you decide how to respond to the situation. You have the power to choose an action that aligns with your values and the kind of person you want to be. With my friend who canceled, I could have chosen to be cold accusatory or even cut off contact. Instead, I sent a gentle message. It's okay. I understand. Let me know when you're ready. That choice didn't come from weakness. It came from a desire to be someone compassionate, generous, and not ruled by fleeting emotions. Ask yourself, who do I want to be in this situation? Do you want to be someone who lashes out, who reacts impulsively, or someone who stays calm and grounded? The response you choose doesn't just shape the outcome of the moment, it shapes who you become over time. And finally, step 5, breathe and accept. Emotions are part of being human. Even after going through all 4 steps, the emotion might still be there. And that's okay. Emotions are like waves, they come and go. If you try to suppress them, they often return even stronger. But if you stand firm, breathe deeply, and allow them to pass, you'll notice they gradually fade away. Here's a simple exercise. Inhale for 10 seconds, hold for 5. Exhale for 10 seconds, hold for 5. Repeat this 3 to 5 times. This not only calms your body, but sends a message to your mind. Everything is okay. I've got this. Most importantly, don't beat yourself up for feeling something. You're human. Anger, sadness, hurt, they're all natural parts of the human experience. What makes the difference is whether you rise from those emotions as a better version of yourself. This 5-step formula isn't just a technique for emotional management, it's a way of life. It reminds us that in a chaotic world, where people act unpredictably, weather changes plans, work emergencies pop up, and small hurts can feel overwhelming, there's still one thing we always own: our response. The 5 steps don't require you to be perfect or calm all the time. They just require awareness and practice. Each time you use them, you strengthen a kind of mental muscle that helps you handle emotions with more resilience. Over time, you'll notice that the things that used to set you off now feel like minor ripples. Life is a stream of events we can't control. People will act how they act, the weather will do what it does, and work will have its ups and downs. But amid everything you can't predict, you always have the power to choose how you respond. This 5-step method doesn't promise that you'll never feel angry, sad, or hurt again, but it gives you a tool to stand steady in the storm, to respond with intention, and to live with more peace. Remember, every emotion, whether negative or positive, is an opportunity to better understand yourself. After every emotional spike, I always ask myself, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? You won't always get both, but when you choose inner peace, you've already won the most meaningful kind of victory. I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to hit the like button. It might seem like a small thing, but because of how the YouTube algorithm works, videos with more likes tend to get shown to more people. So your like really helps this video reach others who might need it too. And if you find my content valuable, consider subscribing. It really helps more people discover it. Thanks for watching, and I wish you and your family good health and peace. See you in the next video.